showing you how to make 4 2.5-inch half square triangles. I already have my 2.5-inch design downloaded to my sewing machine, and we need to remember whenever we send one of the 15 designs that comes in this set that all of them already have seam allowance built in. I've got a waffle stabilizer stretched into my hoop today, and I like to use the waffle stabilizer for this project because it tears away more easily than any of the other tear away stabilizers that I'm familiar with. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start on the first of our 2 color changes. During this color change, we are going to sew out all of the cutting guides that we'll need to finish our triangles. So here we go. And as you notice, we're stitching right now only on stabilizer. And there you have it. That completes color change 1. So I'm going to snip my threads. And we're ready to put the fabric in. And what I'm using is 2 pieces of fabric. The right sides are together, and several coats of spray starch were applied and ironed into the fabric as I put them together, so the fabric now moves as one piece. And so what I'm going to do is just center the fabric over the cutting guides that have been sewn. And as I sew color change 2, I will smooth the fabric in front of the needle, always being careful to keep my fingers out of the needle's path, but preventing any fabric creep or fabric bunching from occurring. So here we go with color change 2. And there we have the end of the stitching portion of creating half square triangles. Okay, we've repositioned our camera and we're ready to continue with the final phase of our project. So the first thing we do is you remove your stabilizer and your fabric from your hoop, and you position the stabilizer with the wrong side up. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And the way that we do this is we take outside 1/4 inch line on our clear ruler and we align it with the sewing guide, and we take one of the solid lines and we put it along the edge. When we square up on 2 sides, we have a much better chance of getting a perfectly true square. And we'll align the second side. The third side. And finally the last side. Now it's important to remember as you do your cutting that all of your guides are only on your stabilizer. So when you're finished cutting, there will be no more guides showing in your actual triangles. So now that we have our triangles cut into a square with a 1/4 inch seam allowance on all sides, we're going to align our ruler along the first diagonal. And when we do this, I usually try to take one of the solid lines, one of the inch markings, and run it right along the other diagonal to make sure that I'm really straight. And my goal right now is to cut right through that stitching line. Hopefully you can see that we are right on the diagonal, corner to corner, and when we go ahead and we make our cut, hopefully we're going to go right through that stitching line. Pretty close. And now all that's left is the second diagonal. And now we have 4 half square triangles that are all the same size. We're going to grab our iron and give it a quick press. When we press our half square triangles, we like to set the outside seam to add a little stability. And we always like to press towards the dark side. I'm going to press the rest of these and I'll show you the finished triangles in just a minute. We finished with our half square triangles, and I hope that by watching this video you can look at the finished product and say, that really was incredibly easy.